folks, welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Twitter at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. One of these days I will update our website, I promise I will. It's not today. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing Ariadne and Bob by Jim McGarva. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. Ariadne and Bob is a game about a know-it-all and her trusty sidekick going on adventures and getting in trouble. Ariadne can be condescending at times, but her ego is not entirely undeserved. Bob is Ariadne's long-suffering partner, the Pinky to her Brain, the Sherman to her Peabody, the Watson to her Holmes, the Luz to her Ada. This game draws inspiration from the many favorite fictional pairings that follow this pattern, from Laurel and Hardy to Rick and Morty. I'm Mac. You can find me on the internet wherever you get good content at Citadel of Swords. That includes Twitter, that includes Tumblr. One of these days I'll get back on Twitch. It's fine, don't worry about it. My pronouns are they, them. And playing with me today we have, the author, actually.
Hi, I'm Jim McGarva. Yeah, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm happy to be here.
Hell yeah. When's are you doing another Kickstarter?
I don't think we're doing another Kickstarter. We just, what I did was, after the first Kickstarter did not fund, I ran a second one with just a lower goal, got basically all the same people, and just funded all the writing goals we wanted. And we're going to have less art than I hoped, but we'll see. We'll see what happens later. If there's any desire for more crowdfunding, maybe we might do it later. But I think we got what we wanted, really, which was the guest authors.
The writing goals?
Yeah. So I've got some really cool people. We're going to be writing play sets, and that was really what the crowdfunding was for.
Excellent. So where can people find the game? We'll include a link in the description, but... Absolutely,
yeah. So if you want to find the game, the place for it right now is on itch.io. So, yeah, we'll have the link in the description. It's jimbozig.itch.io/Ariadne and Bob or something like that. But
excellent. Yeah, we'll stick a link to that in the description, but it's always nice to say it out loud so that people know. If you like this game, you can go get it and play it. It looks really fun. So I'm excited to kind of dig into it and see how it plays. So our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, all the isms, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, plagues and pandemics, because we're still in it, folks. And our fails, which are things we're fine with addressing but we'll just fade black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. Now that we've got all that, let's get started.
All right.
So we have picked a playset. We've said we've done lines and veils, so we've kind of said we don't want to see in the game. If we think of anything else, we'll say, nope, we don't want this, and if it showed up already, we'll walk it back. Do we have any other... besides, lines and veils and X card, I think we're good on safety tools, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, let's do character creation. This means I have to think about a character name.
Mm-hmm.
Donjon, help me. So you said you wanted to play the Bob or Bellerophon type, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Are you leaning one way or the other? Do you want to be the sidekick, hold on, I'm just scrolling.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm happy doing Ariadne and Bob, right? I've played that version more often than I've played Alice and Bellerophon, so I'm a little bit more comfortable with that. So I'd probably lean that way.
Okay, let's do it that way then, so that we make sure that we have fun. Okay. So you're gonna play Bob, so I'll play Ariadne. I have to remember to have an ego. Ugh. Ugh. Alright. Character creation on mic, always a great time. This is such good radio.
Yeah. Well, the character creation is just, everyone goes quiet for a while.
Yes.
Circle a couple things.
Character creation is everyone goes quiet for a while and August cuts it all out later.
Yeah.
We love you, August, but...
Yeah, we'll just come back and announce the decisions we made once we've made them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I think I'm good. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's quick.
I just went, it all fell into place.
Good.
So, would you like to introduce your Bob first when you're ready, and then I will introduce my Ariadne?
I think it actually works better if you introduce your Ariadne first, because as the sidekick, I can sort of explain more about some of the decisions I'm making. It would be easier to explain once I know who you are.
Oh yeah, that's fair. So when you do character creation for this game, you start with the choices that you make about each character, and there's two options for all of them. So Ariadne's choices are, Ariadne is a know-it-all. Choose one. Either she is hyper-competent and can solve just about any problem, or she thinks she is hyper-competent and can solve just about any problem. I have gone with the latter because I think that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then, whichever one you choose, her massive ego leads her into trouble. Choose one. She contrives complicated schemes that could never work, but has 100% confidence in their success. Or, the one that I have gone for, she throws herself into situations with no plan at all, relying on her quick thinking to improvise her way out of a jam. And then the last choice is, Ariadne's massive ego is not for nothing. Choose one. She knows all about this world while Bob is a neophyte. Or, which I picked the second option for all three, which is fine, that works. The other option being, she sees clues in the tiniest details and performs absurd deductions. Mm-hmm. Am I going with a Sherlock Holmes type? You can't prove anything. Also, Sherlock Holmes is out of copyright, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, and that's, big influence for the game, right? It's supposed to be the Sherlock Holmes type.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I have named this character Lydia Carlyle. We will find out more. I'm sure we will find out more about her as this goes on. And she uses she/her pronouns.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my character is Bill Chapman, and so from the choices here, I was allowed to choose Bob is stupid and incompetent, or Bob is not actually stupid or incompetent, but that's how he appears next to Ariadne. I chose that Bob is actually stupid and incompetent. It often seems that Ariadne doesn't even need a sidekick. Choose one. Either without Bob, Ariadne would be completely fine, or without Bob, Ariadne would be utterly lost, and I chose she'd be completely fine without me. And Bob is dragged along in Ariadne's wake like a water skier without skis. Choose one. Bob could leave at any time, but never will. or Bob couldn't leave if he wanted to. I chose that Bob could leave at any time, but never will.
Oh, bless him.
And Bob is normally quite level-headed, but Ariadne can sometimes bring out the worst in him. And you can choose the strange situations make Bob cowardly, or the strange situations make Bob belligerent. I've played a bunch of cowardly Bobs, so this time I'm going with a belligerent Bob.
Ooh, very fun.
Yeah.
Wait, is just looking at the playset, very cursed, just glance. Is Bill gonna go fight a ghost?
He might try to fight a ghost or something. We'll have to see.
We love to see it. I love this. Okay, this is gonna be fun. So, because there's only two of us, there is not, we're not going to have a chorus. The chorus is when you have more than just two players, right?
Right. If you have 3 or 4 players, then the third or fourth player will take on the chorus and they'll get to make their own special character that tags along with the team, but they'll also take on most of the playing NPCs. Since there's just the 2 of us, we will just share the duties of playing NPCs between us.
Yeah. Probably be talking to ourselves a fair bit.
A bit, yeah. But I mean, like, the idea with the creating NPCs is if the NPC relates more to one character, then the other player should play that NPC. So that's not
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So excellent. So from that we've got agenda and moves. So exactly what we said about NPCs and minor characters in the game. In terms of just making sure that, like, if we have an NPC that tends to play more off of Phil, then I'll play them, or if playing more off of Lydia, then you'll play them. So, Ariadne's agenda is to explain the weirdness and mystery that Bob lays out, make plans for you and Bob to achieve your goals, push for a positive outcome until slighted, and drop innocuous details into each scene that only you paid attention to. I won't go into all the moves, but I like agendas, so we'll get to moves as we actually play the game. So what's Bob's agenda?
Bob's agenda is to describe the world and come up with weirdness, to express the desperation, frustration, and difficulty of the situations and mysteries in play, to doubt and poke holes in Ariadne's explanations, and to get things moving when a lull happens.
Excellent.
And just the doubt and poke holes thing, I want to just highlight here, because this locks in with one of the moves on Ariadne's side, right? So Ariadne's going to come up with explanations, and the usual rule for improvising is, you just say yes. But as Bob, what I might do sometimes is not say yes. I might try to but that doesn't make sense. Because Ariadne has a move for making it make sense, or something like that.
Yeah, and then whatever I pick to resolve that move, Bob can no longer ask about that particular point of confusion.
That's right.
Very good. All right. So we'll have an A plot and a B plot.
That's right.
Over the course of this game, and let's figure out an A plot inciting incident, I guess.
Yep. Okay. So, we're gonna roll on a bunch of tables for some prompts. So let's get this dice bot going.
So, okay, for the record, I forgot to say this. We decided that we're going to play the horror playset.
Oh yes, that's right. We couldn't decide on what to play. We're both indecisive, so we just rolled some dice, and the horror playset came up.
Yeah, works. It works for me.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other really great playsets associated with this game. There's High Society. There's Superheroes. There's Twisting Timelines, where you can riff off of existing properties. We both kind of decided that dystopia was not for us. Not today. Not dystopia, but horror. That's fine.
Yeah, well, the horror isn't really horror, is the thing, right? This is the thing with the horror playset, is it's not going to make it horror. It's going to make it like horror comedy, right? Something like Scooby-Doo or like... Well,
that's the best kind of horror, so...
Yeah.
Because I don't really like most horror, so... This is a spoof on horror movies.
Exactly.
Alright, let's roll some dice.
All right, so I rolled a D10 for the inciting incident. So the inciting incident is your location is under attack.
Oh boy, let's start out there.
Yep. We also need to roll a premise from the horror playset, and we need to roll a B plot. And so our B plot is going to be a friendly wager or challenge, and then the premise from the horror playset, I rolled 1 and a 4, so this is going to be based off of Dracula or any vampires.
Yes.
A vampire premise.
Is this okay? So friendly bet or wager. Let me just see the rules for B plot really quick, because an immediate idea popped into my head, and I'm like, is this one of those things where I just like the idea that we keep that the two of us keep making bets on whether or not like a house has like something supernatural in it.
Sure.
That's what immediately pops to my mind when I hear that, is like every time I feel like I keep dragging you to explore haunted houses, and it's like, okay, what does this one have? And you're like, I bet this has, I don't know, what else is on the premise table? Something completely different. That's fantasy. I was looking at fantasy and I was like, yes, goblins, that's horror.
Sure. Werewolves, gremlins,
yeah. It's like, well, I bet there's a serial killer living there, and I'm like, don't be absurd, Bill. Serial killers don't live in our neighborhood. I bet it's a vampire.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm wrong. Which I think is fun. So this could just be another one of those sort of things. That's what immediately pops to mind for me.
All right.
So we're just gonna start off strong with the place that we're in being under attack. I want to roll. Oh my gosh, scrolling so much. I should have a second version of this open where one of them is scrolled down to the playset and one of them is looking at the rules. I'm gonna roll a d6 to see what the.
Yeah, I have some stuff printed out on paper in front of me, and then I have the playset open on a PDF, so I've got a little bit looking at two different things here going on.
Yeah, fair enough. I did not think that far ahead. So I rolled on the horror location on our horror location modifiers table. And I got a 2, which is busy or crowded.
Okay. All right.
Lots of things happening.
The busy or crowded place, and I guess to go with that, we could roll on the actual locations table, which is a couple pages over.
Oh, I didn't even realize we hadn't rolled on the locations. Okay, there we go.
All right, so on the locations table, we got a 5 and a 5, which is rainforest or jungle.
What?
Well, that's a bit strange.
Yeah, okay. Although, okay, I will say, why did it refresh the page? Okay. Let's just make sure, and I don't think that either of us would do this, but I'm like, this could very easily get into some incredible racism, and I would like to not do that.
Absolutely not. Yeah, we're not going there. Don't worry. Yeah, so it's Bob's responsibility to set the first scene. So I guess I have to set a scene now. Now, when we're starting these off, you don't need to roll on all the tables. So you need to roll a premise, right? And you need to roll on the A plot and B plot tables. And then any other tables you want to roll on are sort of optional, right? So when we roll something like a busy rainforest or jungle, right? We can go with that, or we can ignore it if we just have a better idea. Right?
Yeah.
You know? So,
or we can re-roll it if we want to.
Exactly.
The world is our oyster. I just like having lots of options to pick from, especially when there are Oracle tables, because I love Oracle tables. I love a D66 table.
Right, that's why I put so many of them in here.
Yeah, it really works.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's roll and let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what do we got?
Okay. So, we are we are going together. We are in the temperate rainforests of British Columbia. We are on a tour to see some of the world's largest trees. And so we're in a big crowd of people, and we're walking through this forest of big towering trees. And at one point, we cross a road, and crossing the highway, we see on top of a hill a big old creepy house. And Bill's got his camera, and he's snapping pictures. So he snaps a picture of this big old creepy house, and he says, "No, I think we should go check that house out after this tour is done. It looks like our sort of thing. In fact, I bet there's some sort of like weird mirror that you can like walk through and go into another dimension or something."
How much you want to bet on that?
There's a weird mirror?
It is a weird mirror.
I think, I'll bet $20 that there is a weird mirror, and you can't cheat me and be like, oh, it wasn't a mirror. It was like a piece of ice or something that you can walk through. If there's any sort of portal to a mirror dimension, I win the bet, right?
I wouldn't dare of cheating you out of $20 if it turns out that you're right. So I will take that bet, and I will say, I bet there's a vampire in there.
You always bet vampires.
And how often am I right?
Hardly ever. I don't know. There's been some vampires, I guess.
That's out of character laughing also. Okay.
Why are you so interested in these huge trees anyway?
Isn't it fun to see to watch how, and she's like trying to figure out how to explain it. It's always so interesting to me to see physical proof of history. You know, once upon a time, these trees were tiny little saplings, barely as tall as you. And now look at them, and they're fucking huge trees.
They are. They give me vertigo. Looking way up there, I get dizzy.
Are you gonna fall over?
No.
Do you need me to catch you?
I just need to take a breath sometimes.
That's very important. Breathing is indeed very important. Jim, I have a question for you. Are there vampires living in these trees?
I don't know. I haven't decided if there's vampires living in the trees yet.
Our vampire lore now, we can say whatever we want.
Yeah, but I need to figure out how is our location under attack. So, we get to the next really big tree that the tour guide wants to show us, and they're just telling us all about how old this tree is and how they can tell how old trees are without cutting them down, and all this stuff that the tour tells you. And then a woman starts panicking, and she says, "Where's Casey? Where's Casey?" And her kid, Casey, is missing. And
oh no.
And so everyone else starts looking around. We go, "Oh no. Oh, we've lost a kid in the forest." And so the tour guide's trying to keep everyone calm.
Lydia's like, how do you lose track of your child on a tour? Like, very softly to herself under her breath.
Lydia, what are we gonna do?
Clearly, we have to find the child.
Well, yeah, I knew you'd say that. I look to you. No, I'm just the guy with the camera. I document your exploits, you know?
And Lydia, thinks about it for a second. And she goes, "You know, I don't think little Casey wandered off. I think something took her. Them? I don't know. We'll find out."
Yeah, I don't know. Casey's a gender-neutral name, so I'm not actually sure.
We'll find out.
We will. Yeah.
When we find the child, we will ask. We will ask for their preferred pronouns.
That's a good plan, Lydia. That's a good plan. All right.
let's...
Finding the child. Do you think that they were taken up to that house?
I do, in fact, think they were taken up to that house. Perhaps we should leave the tour and go check out that house now.
All right. I am up for that. So that sounds like the end of the first scene.
Yep.
And so at the end of the first scene, we both want to have goals relating to the A plot.
Excellent. I also forgot to do Ariadne's horror playset choice, so I'm thinking about that. That is in the back of my head.
Oh,
while
yeah,
we do this.
Of course. Yeah, we should think about that as well.
Okay. So, God, I wish that I knew more about Lydia to give her like a catchy catchphrase. Catchy catchphrase? What? Okay. Fine. At least that one makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, obviously Lydia's goal is to find the child.
Yeah. I think that's the
Actually, Lydia's goal can be to find out what's living in the house. And then the finding the kid is just a sub goal.
Okay, I think Bob really wants to find the child.
Great. Cool.
I mean Bill. Bill really wants to find the child. Yeah.
Excellent. So for the horror playset,
Getting a picture of whatever took the child is also a secondary goal, I think.
I like that our I like that our bonuses are inverses of each other's. It's like I'm gonna find out what's in this house, and also we'll find this lost kid, I guess. And you're like, I want to find this lost kid, and also we'll see what's in this house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So every playset has an additional choice for Ariadne at character creation. And for the horror playset, Ariadne's is Ariadne has a reason why she cannot just get everyone on board with helping defeat the monster. Choose one. She has a reason why she cannot tell anyone but her sidekick about any supernatural horror, or nobody ever believes her, even Bob is skeptical at first, even after she has been right so many times. I think that we've established that Bill is not skeptical of the supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how that initial conversation between them felt to me, so I think it's gotta be she has a reason why she can't tell anyone about it. And I'm gonna find that out in play. I'm gonna find out that reason in play.
That sounds good. Yeah. Last time I played a horror one, we played where Bob was skeptical, and that was fun because we were always contriving ways why Bob couldn't see the thing, and Bob was like digging in a backpack when the thing appeared, stuff like that.
I love when it's like every single time there's something going on.
Yeah.
And it just gets more and more like out there wild why you can't like justify it. So that is very fun. But I think we've established that we're both like firmly on board. Yeah,
this time Bill is down with the supernatural and wants to get pictures.
Hell yeah. Poor Bill. It really is a vampire and he's not gonna get any pictures. Unless this vampire can show up on film. Okay, so B plot. So the first B plot scene, and I accidentally scrolled down to the playset in the thing where my play was, so I had to scroll all the way back up. So scene B's don't need to follow as strict a structure as scene A's. So we alternate, right? We do.
Yes, we're alternating. Yeah, it's page 10 that has the description of what you do to start a scene B.
I got it. So I think this is just like when we like on our way up to the house, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is just us walking up to the house and we're just like, are we still just like talking about what could be in the house?
Sure.
I think we're just still like we've just gone right back to this bed.
Mm-hmm.
What was in the house the last time we did this? Maybe the last time we, like, explored a weird house, it wasn't actually anything. It was just, like, the place where the local kids went to go get high.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, like, And Lydia's just like, this one is not a hoax. This one is not a hoax.
It better not be. I need some pictures.
You do know that if it is a vampire, you're not going to get any pictures, right?
Well, hopefully it's not a vampire. Hopefully I can get a picture of some weird mirror universe.
Because Lydia was about to say the same thing about a mirror. If Bill took a picture of the mirror, the actual mirror, it would just look like a weird selfie. But
yeah, well,
what would the mirror universe even look like? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I would have an evil mirror twin. So when I crossed over, then my twin would cross over with me, and then you'd be face to face with my mirror twin, and I'd be face to face with your mirror twin. And I don't know, maybe she looks different than you.
Yeah, maybe she's blonde.
Maybe these won't be very convincing pictures. I don't know.
Would your evil mirror twin have a mustache?
I don't know. Maybe. What would your evil mirror twin look like?
I think she'd be blonde. Maybe she'd be a vampire.
What if there's a mirror vampire?
If there's a mirror vampire, who wins the bet?
Good question. I guess it'd have to be a draw at that point.
How do you draw on a $20 bet? No one gets any money.
Yeah.
Or I pay you and then you pay me.
You could do that.
Which just... Lydia's like genuinely a little stumped by this.
That would just incur transaction fees though, so...
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, if you pass the $20 around enough, it just becomes $10 after transaction fees. Unless you did it in cash. We could do it in cash. Let's not do it. If it's a draw, we just won't.
So should
Maybe we need to have another bet to make sure that there's not a draw.
Another bet? Okay. So, if it's a mirror vampire, I'm going to bet that they are somehow into like mad science or something. Mad scientist mirror vampire.
I'm really invested in this mad science mirror vampire right now. Well, let's put $10 on that, because if it's a vampire, then I get $20. But if it's a mirror vampire, then you get $20. But then if the mirror vampire is into mad science, then you still get $10.
Okay.
Unless you want to raise the stakes. I'm down for you to raise the stakes, but...
Bill rifles in his pocket and says, I don't think we can raise the stakes now. I haven't been selling many pictures.
Could bet a drink on it.
No one? Sure. Ooh. $10 and a drink.
$10 and a drink. Sounds good.
No one bought the pictures of those stoned teenagers that I took last time.
I can only imagine why they wouldn't. I'm really invested in this mad science mirror vampire now. Shit.
So there's this like big imposing door with a huge old-fashioned door knocker in front of us. Should we knock?
Absolutely. What are we going to do? Just walk right in? That would be rude.
All right. So yeah, this house it's your typical creepy old house it's in the middle of a big forest on a hill. It's the front lawn is all overgrown. The house itself is covered with ivy. So whoever is in here, if there's anyone in here, is not taking care of the grounds. Bill says, well, it might be abandoned.
It could be abandoned. Let's knock and find out if it's abandoned. And I guess this is moving back into the A plot, right?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool.
So in that case, I'm going to roll a prompt. I think it's something I'm going to roll on the extras table. All right, 6 and 6 on the horror extras table is dangers, drugs or poison. Interesting.
Huh.
Okay. All right, so Bill reaches up to knock on the door with his big old-fashioned door knocker, and then he goes, "Ugh, there's something on the door knocker. There's something sticky here. What is this?"
Oh, goodness. Ariadne, oh my god. I'm gonna keep a tally of how many times I do that.
I do it all the time.
Lydia,
Yeah.
Lydia, like, leans forward to inspect it and goes, "Ah, I see. It's a honeypot."
It's honey. Can I eat it?
No, I wouldn't eat it. I do believe it is some kind of poison, and I believe you might have won our bet. At least part of it. So I owe you a drink. And out of her pocket, I guess Lydia has gloves. Fine. She has a pair of gloves that she pulls out first, and then she pulls out, like, a handkerchief or something, and is like, "Here, try to get as much of that off as you can. I would not breathe it in particularly deeply, because I don't know what it does." Now I have to think about whether or not Lydia is the kind of person that where she would, you know the geologist thing that they do where they lick rocks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out if she's that kind of person. Probably not. I think she's smarter than that.
All right.
I did just imagine it where she does that thing that the Doctor does in Doctor Who sometimes, where he, like, takes a little taste of it. He's like, "Ah, yes, this is blood."
Yeah.
But she puts on gloves, and she, like, kind of touches the doorknob.
All right, well.
She goes,
So Bill is just getting furious. He's furious. He says, "Poison? You can't just poison people who come and knock on your door. It's outrageous. I am going to go and demand the antidote." And
"Okay, now, hold on. We have to get into the house first." And she knocks on the door, and the door opens.
all right.
Well, I'll take that as good an invitation as anything.
So the door creaks open, and is a large foyer, and on the floor is a big moose skin rug, and on the walls are a whole lot of mirrors. And Bill says, "Yes."
Now, we haven't figured out if they're portals to other dimensions yet.
Yeah, but come on, it's looking good for me. And why would a vampire cover their wall with mirrors?
Let's get answers first.
We gotta find Casey. Is there any evidence that Casey is even here?
So I bet there's, like, footprints in the dust on the floor. There's dust on the floor, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's gotta be dust on the floor. It's a creepy old house at the top of a hill. There's dust on the floor. Alright. And Lydia just walks into the house.
So Lydia, what this poison? How urgently do I need an antidote?
Oh, no. I think you'll be fine as long as you don't, like, breathe it in. Or, like, touch your face, or... I think it's an ingestible. So, it's a honeypot trap.
Okay.
If if it gets inside, that's when it becomes a problem. I don't even know. It might not even be deadly. Just...
Well, so maybe the first thing we should find is a bathroom so I can wash my hands.
That might be smart. Why don't you go find a sink, and then meet me on the second floor?
Okay. Sure. So, I guess Bill just starts trying doors.
And don't step into any mirrors, Bill.
I'm going to be trying every mirror in this room after I wash my hands.
There we go. Great, we split the party.
Mm-hmm.
This is surely not going to have any consequences for us. So, obviously, I can't find the vampire themselves yet, but I can find... We can find some stuff in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, you wash your hands. It's fine. Whatever's on your hands is like... Do you ignore Lydia's advice about not breathing it in?
I mean, so Bill is stupid and incompetent. So after Bill finds the washroom and washes his hands and dries his hands, he notices he has a bit of something on his face, and so he takes the handkerchief which you gave him that he had wiped his hands off on, and wipes his face and blows his nose. He's, oh, dang it.
That's fine. That's fine. I think it's I was thinking that whatever was on the door knocker is just like a mild, not like a hallucinogen, but it's like it makes him pretty stoned.
Okay.
Or it will make him pretty stoned, because if he's pretty stoned, then the vampire can get him.
Uh-huh.
And it's not like a whole big thing. So great. Great news for Bill. So he's just kind of like, oh, dang it. Well, I guess I'm gonna go look at these mirrors now. Right?
Yeah, so Bill's walking around poking every mirror, trying to see if there's any that, turn to liquid and can be passed through, but they're all just regular mirrors as far as you can tell so far. On the second floor, I guess you see a large open room with big windows, and in that room there is a table with all sorts of glassware. You have beakers and vials, and they have strange colored liquids in them. Classic mad scientist laboratory. And you see one vial or one I guess glass that looks like it was recently used.
Oh dear. Well, looks like Bill was finally right about something. I also I did just realize, and I'm gonna have I'm not gonna have August cut this out. August, don't cut this out. I did realize there's a line about violence against children, so I think Casey is not here.
Casey is totally fine. Don't worry.
Casey is totally fine. Casey literally is not even in the house.
Yeah, don't worry. Casey's okay.
Casey went butterfly catching in the forest.
Yeah. Even if Casey was here, Casey was going to be fine.
Casey was going to be fine. I am not putting a child in danger. Casey is not here.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. So Lydia's like, well, still no confirmation on vampire yet. But either way, I lose, so... Well, we'll find out. And I do think one of the beakers has blood in it.
Okay.
But that's not an indicator of whether or not there's a vampire here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since there's these giant open windows. But like, I don't know, maybe the vampire is okay, and maybe it's a daywalker vampire, like, it can exist in the sun. I don't know. And then, Lydia looks at her watch and is like, told Bill to come up to the second floor 10 minutes ago. It doesn't take 10 minutes to wash your hands.
Alright, so, are we, I guess moving on to scene B2 now?
Yeah. I think that's good.
Okay. So then your job is to explain what the plan is next. And I will, pull things out.
Well, poor Bill is now getting close to being very high.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the plan next? So, I guess Lydia, goes to find Bill, and has Bill just been poking the same mirror for the last, 10 minutes?
Could be, if he's that high, yeah. He's...
And Lydia's just like, oh, no. Bill, did you eat the honey?
I didn't eat it. I'm not an idiot.
Are you sure about that?
I didn't eat it. I think this mirror goes to an alternate dimension. I just need to figure out how.
Lydia, looks at the mirror, and it's, a little warped. And she's like, okay. Well, you'll be pleased to know, whenever it is that you stop being high off your ass that you were at least right about the mad science part.
Oh. Well, there needs to still be a portal, otherwise I lose.
There also still needs to be a vampire. Okay. Okay. Bill, I need you to trust me now, okay? This is a move that Ariadne has. When Ariadne asks Bob to do something and says, "Trust me," you get to choose to do it or refuse. And Ariadne is like, again! Oh my god! I should have just named her Ariadne and then I wouldn't have had this fucking problem.
Yeah.
Lydia is like, I need you to come upstairs with me and I need you to sit in a chair. And we are going to wait. And we're going to see if this vampire shows up. Or we're going to see what shows up. Okay? And then we will figure it out from there. Can you do that for me?
You know what? Sitting down in a chair sounds nice. I'll go sit down in a chair, and then we'll find some more mirrors later. I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought would happen. All right, come on. And she, kind of takes him by the arm and starts to lead him up the stairs.
Yeah, so Bob goes along with it.
If Bob does it, Ariadne describes the outcome using the action and its result to explain more about scene. Any negative consequences fall on Bob. Rip.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is that there is kind of no way for this to I mean, the exact circumstances wouldn't have happened if Ariadne had to do it herself. She wouldn't have been able to do it. She would have just had to be like, oh, we're gonna have bad consequences. But this works because Ariadne can now sit, or again, that's 3 times in the last 20 minutes. Lydia can sit Bill down in a chair. And I don't have a problem. I can call you Bill. I just can't call myself Lydia.
Right.
Lydia just sits Bill down in a chair. And it's like, okay. I think that, I don't know. This has to be the place where whoever this is does whatever it is that they do. So I would expect that after, knowing that someone had taken their bait, that they would come back here for, So I guess we just wait. And then we see which one of us is right.
Bob is just rubbing his fingernails and trying to see his own reflection in them. Not working.
Oh.
Okay. So, actually, Bill's gonna say, Lydia, why do you think it has to be this chair? What are you talking about? There's other chairs. I saw other chairs. So this is an attempt to ask a difficult question about an explanation that makes sense.
Yeah. Except he's fucking high. So it's like the weirdest plot hole ever. And Lydia just leans casually against a table that has a bunch of mad scientist equipment and says, well, it's simple. This one clearly has blood stains on the upholstery and looks like it would do well to support someone or something that is as collapsed and melty as you are right now. So, this must be the place where the victims of this house's current tenant are brought to or left so that whatever it is that the occupant does, whether that be drink their blood or just take their blood for mad science experiments, can do so without fear that they will just end up a puddle on the floor.
Yeah, Bill groans and says, oh, I didn't follow that, but you said bloodstains. I'm the bait. I'm always the bait. Lydia, why are you...
And Lydia, pats him on the shoulder and is like, one day you won't be the bait, darling.
All right. So Bob continues to moan a bit. And I guess we can move on to scene A3 and see what happens, what comes up
Make it worse.
when Bob sits in this chair, when Bill sits in this chair. I'm doing it too.
It's this. I think this is the pitfall of naming your playbook's actual names, right?
Yeah, it's inherent to the game, right? You either name your characters actually Ariadne and Bob, or you end up saying Ariadne and Bob half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is really good. This is I rolled on the extras table again, and this time I got dangers, scary animals.
Oh Jesus.
So while Bob is sitting in the chair, a bat flies in the open window.
Of
And
course it's a bat.
where is Lydia right now?
I think she's still just leaning against the table.
All right, so the bat flies into the room, and Bob sort of looks up at it, and instead of going for Bob like I think Lydia expects, the bat flies over and tries to and knocks down a beaker of dark red liquid on a shelf above Lydia onto Lydia.
Oh boy. Oh jeez. I am on the wrong tab again.
Okay. Seeing this, Bill starts to giggle a little bit.
Yeah, I think Lydia just kind of like... Lydia kind of is just like, I totally expected that to happen. And kind of like... And then it's her turn to kind of just like lean over and just kind of like sniff. And be like, okay, well, I think that's just blood, so... I don't think that's human blood, though. I don't think it's a problem. I don't have any open wounds, so it's not like I would get a blood-borne illness from it. Oh, but you have my handkerchief, Bill.
Bill giggling says, I left that in the bathroom downstairs.
Oh. Yeah, well, that handkerchief was probably beyond saving anyway at this point. And she's kind of like staring at her arm, going,
That bat's just staring at you.
well, I guess this works as bait as anything else. And she kind of like looks at the bat like, why are you always bats? Is this bat just a bat?
So Bill says that bat is just like staring at you, Lydia.
Yeah. I'm in a staring contest with a bat. Not the weirdest day we've ever had, but I'm still holding my arm like Lydia would be. So I need to not do that because I'm gonna strain something in my shoulder. So
All right, so this is like a little bit of a lull, and so I have a move. When Bob needs to describe something but doesn't have a good idea, or when there's a lull, I can roll on the table and get a little prompt.
excellent.
And that prompt was cover up, which I don't really know how that applies. I think I'm just going to roll again. So, a secret code cipher, unknown language. So, Bill says, Lydia, it's talking to you. You just can't hear it because it's too high pitched. Don't you have like an app for that?
Hold on a second. I don't know why I found that so funny, but I did. I have an app for everything, Bill. Come on. And Lydia like pulls out her phone and like flicks through it and like is like thinking to herself, how in the hell can Bill hear this and I can't? And like I think she just ends up on like a radio tuner thing, right? Like
Okay.
I just had an idea for why Lydia can't talk about the supernatural to anybody. but I am gonna sit on that and see if that works. She has a little, like, she has like she pulls out her like AirPods and just kind of like dials it down a little bit so that she can hear what's happening in the room, I guess.
Okay.
So I think I don't think it's the bat. It's not the bat. The bat is just a bat. Something comes out of what Lydia hears is coming from another room. And she's like, "Stay here. I think that might be your mirror vampire." And the door like opens and there's our mirror vampire.
Okay.
We did it. Hooray. We
All right.
found a mirror vampire.
So Bill says, "Oh dang, Lydia, it's a vampire." Where's my camera? Where's my camera?
Where is your camera?
No, I left it downstairs.
Oh, it's okay. We'll have plenty of opportunities in the future to get. I'll make sure you get more pictures of vampires, don't worry.
Okay. So yeah, this looks like classic vampire. She's tall, black hair, very pale, mesmerizing eyes, wearing a long black dress.
Well, because I may actually have been wrong about something for the first time since you've known me. Because I think that's the evil version of me. And she, like, points at the mirror vampire.
Oh, dang. She does look like you, Lydia. Oh, dang. All right. How do we beat evil Lydia?
The same way you beat regular Lydia. You don't. Though, and Lydia kind of, like, folds her arms and does, like, You've really let time get away from you, haven't you? Like, I'm sorry, this. Listen, the look works for us, but this is so 19th century.
Okay, so what is evil Lydia's motivation?
What is evil Lydia's motivation? Evil Lydia might want a bill.
Okay. All right, because it seems like I'm probably the one who's going to be playing evil Lydia. So yeah, you give me the motivation, I will go with that. So
Bill in the corner, great, there's two of them now.
So yeah, evil Lydia says, listen, Bill, I've got just a most fantastic camera for you, and all you have to do to get it is just come through this mirror with me. Walk into this other room, walk through the mirror, and, on this side of the mirror, on the other side of the mirror, you can take pictures of vampires. And you, she points to the other Lydia, will not interfere.
Oh, you think?
Well, if you do interfere, you'll regret it.
Oh, there's really nothing that you could do to me that would stick in any conceivable way.
You don't think so? What if I told you, I've already done it?
Lydia's like, I don't feel any different.
Bill says, what's she talking about, Lydia? Is it that bat? Is it that red stuff on you? Should I go with you to the mirror?
I do believe that's what she's referring to, but I truly don't believe it's made any sort of difference in my... And she kind of, like, pats herself down a little bit. And, like, checks her, checks her pulse. It's like, no, still no heartbeat. Because I decided the reason why Lydia, can't talk about the supernatural to anybody is because she is also a vampire.
Okay.
Which I don't know if evil Lydia knew. Actually, I don't think evil Lydia knew that.
Evil Lydia starts monologuing. She says, yes, you see that, my my dear twin, is my own blood, vampire blood, and some of it must surely have gotten into your eyes or your mouth or something. And as everyone knows, when you when a human tastes true vampire blood, well, they become a vampire that is enslaved to the one whose blood they tasted. So all I must do now is give you a command. So go and get Bill's camera for him.
Didn't you just say you had a nice camera for him on the other side of the mirror?
So evil Lydia scowls and says, I'm just trying to get rid of you, dear.
Yes, I know that. I'm not an imbecile. But if you said that you had a nice camera for Bill on the other side of the mirror, then why would I bother going and getting his camera from the basement? It seems like a poor use of a command, if you ask me.
So evil Lydia now realizes that, wait, this has gone wrong.
Something's gone wrong here.
Commands aren't supposed to be argued with. So she says, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you following my command?
Here's the thing. You're my evil twin, but that doesn't mean that everything about us is so different. Now, I got with the times after I became a vampire. And I see clearly you decided to lean into the whole Dracula thing. It's, like I said, it works as a look, but it's really difficult to maintain these days. So, now, I don't have anything as clever as, dropping a vial of blood on you in order to try and enslave you, and honestly, I don't think I'd really do that anyway, but I do have something that might work just as well. This is out of character, me trying to think of a good plan.
That's fine, yeah. So, I mean, if you want, Bill can jump in here and do a thing, or...
If you want Bill to do something...
Let's see,
go for it. I am gonna look at the tables and see what I wanna go with.
Bill says, well, how about you two stay here, and I'll go and get that camera that she's talking about. Really nice one.
She's lying, Bill. I know that you're high, but try to get some common sense, please.
She says I can take a picture of her on the other side of the mirror.
Why don't you go and get your camera? Which you left downstairs by some running water, I assume?
Fine, I'll go get my camera. So Bill goes downstairs, and now I guess the two of you are alone. Well, you and Evil Lydia and the bat.
Me and Evil Lydia and the bat.
Yeah.
And I think Lydia is just like, that's just a bat, right?
Evil Lydia says it is a bat under my control. That's why it spilled my blood on you.
Ah, yes, I see. But it is just a bat. You can't turn into a bat. I don't know why everybody thinks that vampires can turn into bats.
No, it's stupid. I can turn into a snake, not a bat.
Can you only turn into a snake?
I can turn into a snake, into a cloud of mist. Sometimes when I'm feeling fun, I turn into a cloud of mist and go into a balloon.
Oh, that does sound fun. I'll have to try that one myself. What about an insect? Could you turn into like a bee or a wasp?
I can turn into a whole swarm of wasps.
But what about just like one? Could you just do like one?
I can turn into as many wasps as I want.
But could you just do one?
Of course I could just do one.
Well...
Fine, I'll show you. And she turns into a wasp.
The bat sees food, swoops down, and eats the wasp.
Alright, just as Bill walks in and takes a picture.
Well, I think that worked out rather nicely, actually. Let's go see if we can find that mirror.
What about the child? We're here to find a child.
Well, we can also look for the child now that there's not an evil version of myself wandering around this house.
Maybe she took the child through the mirror. Maybe there really is a good camera on the other side of the mirror.
I will go through the mirror and I will find out. I will take... How about this? You stay here. I will take your camera and take pictures for you if it turns out there's not a camera over there. And then I will bring them back so that you stay here.
Okay. Sure, Bill will go along with this plan as well. He'll grumble a bit.
All right.
You're always leaving me alone, Lydia. What if there's another vampire?
You're a little bit too high to help me. Bill's probably coming down at this point,
Yeah.
but is definitely still a little loopy.
He's starting to feel a bit better. He made it down to get his camera and back up in a reasonable amount of time.
Without, like, falling down the stairs.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on in the next scene?
Is this just like... Are they just, like, looking for the mirror at this point?
I think you can just say like you can jump ahead to they found the mirror. You can say that they find something while they're looking for the mirror, or however you want
Yeah, okay.
to do it.
Let's find the mirror, I guess.
Okay, so you find them. Lydia finds the mirror and goes through the mirror.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I think I have a good idea. So
Okay.
going through the mirror, you walk into another house that looks just like the one you were in, but everything is reflected. And you find in that house, you don't see a nice camera. That was a lie, unfortunately.
Sorry, Bill.
Yeah. I guess you can try taking a selfie of yourself in that to see if she was lying about that too. But more importantly, you see a child sitting on the chair where Bill was sitting.
Huh. And, Lydia, like, goes up to the child and is like, "Are you Casey?
Yeah, I'm Casey.
Are you alright?"
Casey says, I think I'm a bit high, but I'm fine. So Casey is about 16 years old.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah. No, this is an older child. Yeah, Casey's about 16 years old. Casey is a girl, and she's dressed up in her hiking gear. You think that she's familiar looking. You think that she was on the tour with you.
I know what you're gonna say to me. And of course, Lydia is like, "How did you get here?"
Casey says, "Well, I got lost in the woods, and then there was this nice lady who found me, and she said she lived up here, and she was dressed really strangely for being out in the woods, like fancy black dress and stuff, but she brought me up here, and gave me a drink and said she was gonna call the police and have someone come find me."
Okay, well, I'm the police, and I found you, so there we go. So, why don't let's go back to the tour, shall we?
Yeah, my mom must be worried sick.
Yeah, she is. All right. Can you stand okay?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, and we will go back through the mirror, I guess.
All right, so I want to skip ahead to I think we can just wrap it up here, but we skip ahead to we get back to the tour, and Lydia and Bill are all ready to proudly arrive, having returned Casey to the tour, but something's a little bit strange. When we get back there, people aren't like running around looking for a child anymore. Everything seems to have calmed down, and you see the woman who was looking for Casey, and next to her is, well, another Casey.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
That was exactly why Lydia was asking the questions. Because she was like, I do not want to steal another Casey from another world. And she's kind of like, well...
And Bill goes, what now, Lydia?
Let's just turn around and go back.
Wait, no, Lydia, we can't. I have to get a picture of them together. I have to. This is it. This could finally be the picture I need. Please, Lydia, please.
Bill, you know it's just going to look like they're twins, right?
But they're not. Twins.
But we're the only people that know that.
Oh, why? Why does this always happen to me?
Let's go return this Casey, to her other mother.
Okay, so
to her actual mother.
Okay, but when Bob groans and bemoans his lot, so why does this always happen to me? Ariadne has to choose. You can attempt to cheer him up with news of the bright side and make an optimistic prediction, or you can reveal a piece of sympathetic backstory.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So Lydia just kind of like pats him on the shoulder and goes, think of it this way. We're still going to do a good deed, and you will be able to get pictures of, the other world, now that you're not high off your ass. Maybe there'll be something there that you can take a picture of and sell out without us having to disrupt these lovely people's lives. So the bright side is Bill gets a chance to go in and actually see this mirror universe for himself.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because this gives me a decision now. I can be cheered up and then describe the thing that immediately goes wrong, or I can be dismissive of the good news and continue moaning, and then you can describe the thing that indicates your optimism. So I think I'm going to choose the second one. So Bill just dismisses this, says, no, this is never going to happen. Never going to get a good picture of the supernatural. It's always this way. It's always vampires who you can't take pictures of, or these people just look like twins, or whatever. Or when I finally do, my camera gets smashed.
Lydia, he is saying all of this as Lydia is bringing Bill and Casey back up to the house, and through the portal, and they go outside of the house, and the area that they are in has like these trees like no one has ever like trees that just like don't look right at all. And Lydia like takes Bill's camera and like snaps an experimental picture and like looks at it and goes, well, there you go.
So Bill's mouth is agape. He grabs the camera and he just takes picture after picture of these really weird trees. The trees, instead of going up like trees do in our world, they sort of like twist and twirl their way up in weird spiraling patterns. And instead of having leaves, they have purple tendrils.
Mm-hmm.
And
see, yeah. I told you it'd all work out.
So Bill, yeah, I think that's a good finish there. Bill is happy, taking his pictures. So that was the end of the final A scene. So for the final B scene, we don't have to, sometimes it just wraps up and you don't even need to do the final B scene, or sometimes, the final B scene can just be like, someone can come up with a cool, like, little stinger at the end or something. If you had anything in mind for that, anything that would...
The only thing I can think of is Lydia gets Bill that drink.
Okay.
They get it in this world, maybe.
Okay.
They're just gonna hang out here for a little bit, because obviously they can go back whenever they want, so...
All right.
He's like, let's get you that drink.
Sounds good.
Since they were both right about everything else, and then Bill was right about the mad science mirror vampire.
All right, and in the bar where they're getting this drink, everybody is dressed like Evil Lydia. It was actually totally normal fashion-wise.
Yep. That's fine. We're not staying here forever, so...
Okay, so that's it. That's the game.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, it was. Thank
Hell
you
yeah.
very much.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanna say? I'm scrolling down. There's some great, I know that there's like we didn't get into all of this, but, there's some great, pages on how to turn this into like a multi-arc thing. I do love the Sidekick's journey. I forgot about the Sidekick's journey. I totally, we sometime, I'm like, oh, I want to play the Sidekick's journey now. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great game.
Yeah, so there's the variant rules. Sidekick's Journey is it changes the scene structure around. So instead of having the A and B scene thing that we've been doing, it sort of traces out the Joseph Campbell monomyth type of structure. So the origin story for the sidekick, how they get into all this stuff with Ariadne, and so this is the sort of thing where next time if we were to play this again, we could play totally new characters and start fresh, or we could play these same characters getting into other mischief.
Yeah. Fun times. Great game. Yeah. A lot of fun.
Good.
Nice and short and quick.
Mm-hmm.
And like very low prep, which is always great.
Yeah, it's super low prep. It's quick. Like it took us a couple hours. Sometimes it's more like 3 hours, but yeah,
it's good. So just for the sake of the listener, we did not go very long at all. But just for the sake of the end of the episode, where can people find the game? Where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter. My handle there is JimboZig, so JIMBOZIG. You can find my games at jimbozig.itch.io. So there's Ariadne and Bob there. There's also Strike, which I wrote a few years ago. It's a much bigger game. It's got all sorts of tactical combat and stuff, and it's very cool if you like the minis on the grid sort of game.
Hell yeah. Which is a little harder to play in an audio medium, but
right. Yeah.
Good for people who are playing in person.
Yeah.
I haven't played a game in person in so long. And you can find me, Mac, on the internet at Citadel of Swords, wherever you get content. You can find the podcast at FTLcast on Twitter, FTLcast.com, patreon.com/FTLcast. We're pretty much using FTLcast everywhere, so that shouldn't be too hard to find us. And again, I will link the itch link for this game in the description below. Definitely check it out if you get a chance. It's really fun. I had a great time. So I don't know about you, Jim, but I had a great time.
I had a fantastic time. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me on.
Yeah, great to have you. So yeah, that's us. We'll do one more clap.
Hi, it's August, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on your podcast platform of choice, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about us using the FTLcast hashtag. We are also part of a nonprofit podcasting guild called Standing Stones Productions. We do a variety of shows, including The Room Where It Happened and Dumb Kids Playing Hero, 2 actual play shows, and a Steven Universe discussion podcast called Gay Space Rocks. We also do live streams at twitch.tv/StandingStonesProd. You can keep up with everything that we do on Twitter at Stones_Standing. Unfortunately, Standing Stones was already taken. Your support means a lot. Thanks again!